NIO is actually already extremely successful here in China. Number one spot, all right, already number one spot. Yet, investors don't know about it. Guys, welcome back to the channel where I serve you a good dose of reality, the good and the bad. Whereas with the other guys, you only see pumping videos. Only good, I show you both sides of the coin with a good dose of reality. I think you guys can all agree I'm not paid by NIO. I'm not paid by anybody. It's just honest truth. All right, the hardcore truth. And if everything was perfect, well, you know, NIO wouldn't be where it is right now. The stock price wouldn't be $4.90. It would be 100, 200, 600. All right, I got a long-term price target of 650, but it's gonna take some time for us to get there. Why is NIO already successful? Well, NIO sales in China, all right, is the number one spot when it comes to pure electric vehicles in the luxury tier above 300,000 RMB. NIO's number one. There's nothing above NIO. Nobody else sells more than NIO. Mercedes, BMW, even Tesla's Model X and S, they don't sell more than NIO when it comes to EVs priced above 300,000 RMB. All right, or other guys have gas tanks in them. So NIO is already number one. How much more successful do you want NIO to be? What's above number one? All right, NIO is already successful. Given the fact that 50% of their sales actually come from the Yangtze River Delta region, so around Shanghai, Suzhou, these areas, that's where they sell the most. All right, we can all agree that luxury EV adoption is the highest over there. And when it comes to luxury EV, NIO is number one. Okay, whereas for other areas in tier 3, tier 4 cities, we can see that luxury EV adoption, all right, people might be choosing EREVs or still choosing gas vehicles, isn't that high. And as a result, right, because NIO is the number one luxury EV, the sales there aren't, number one compared to like some of the hybrids and that kind of stuff, which is understandable. And of course, that's where the room for massive growth lies. All right, you're still going to see growth in the Shanghai River Delta region. There's going to be a ton of sales in Shanghai. There's going to be a ton of sales in Suzhou and Nanjing. These areas, they're going to sell a lot of vehicles. Also Beijing as well. They're going to increase sales, but where we could see sales triple, quadruple, or even increase more, all right, than it is already at, is of course these smaller cities where the awareness just isn't there. All right, for example, I came back to Beijing today. All right, swapped 2 times along the way. My wife's aunt, right, was sitting here, and my wife was in the back with my son, and also my wife's aunt's daughter was sitting behind me, and they were just amazed by battery swap. All right, they were just jaw dropped, And my car is a 4-year-old NIO, right? EC6, first gen EC6, 4 years old, and they're still amazed by the battery swap, how convenient it is. You don't have to get out of the car, all that kind of stuff. And they witnessed it firsthand. I got no more charge. I'm at 10% swap, highway swap station, and then boom, keep on driving. Came back to Beijing. We're at 40% charge, swap again, come back home. Wow, absolutely amazing. Also, NOP, NIO Pilot, all right, absolutely amazing. Even though my NIO Pilot is still the first gen NIO Pilot without LiDAR, damn, but they don't know about this car, all right? Her son knows about this car, and she was just absolutely amazed by the capabilities of this car. But it shows you the problem, the fact that there's still a big misunderstanding. People still don't know about NIO. People still don't know about battery swap, even though NIO is number one. All right, NIO is number one already. They're already extremely successful, all right, here in China. But in those tier 4, 5, tier 3 cities, my wife's family, all right, father, mother, sister, etc., they don't know about NIO. They've only known about NIO through me. All right. And that reflects on the fact that, it's just those areas, they don't know about it. All right. I mean, and you can tell anybody that's experienced battery swap, they know how crazy this is. I mean, that's like next level stuff. So this is where the area of massive growth lies for NIO in the future. Okay. But having that said, NIO is already the number one in terms of luxury EV. Sales are still going to increase, but they're already number one spot. What's above number one? Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, Europe is a completely different story. All right. We saw NIO's Europe sales in June, and lackluster would be an understatement. And once again, it's just, it's just what it is. Okay. It's not like, it's not my fault that sales there are like that. All right. And just like my previous video, it's not my fault ET7s are rusting. All right. I'm just reporting on it. I'm just letting you guys know. All right. It's just what it is. Okay. Don't get mad at me for telling you the truth. You want me to lie to you? Come on. So Europe sales in June. Well, let's take a look. They sold 72 in Norway, 14 in the Netherlands, 0 in Sweden. I gotta check that again. Yeah, 0 in Sweden, 1 in Denmark, and 44 in Germany. All right, that's the results of NIO in Europe. Now, it looks kind of bad, yes, but don't forget that people can still get a NIO through subscription, right? That might be the more economical choice to go for, and people might be leasing a NIO or maybe even a rental. So there's many ways of being a NIO owner, not just through purchasing. But having that said, that's not great results. All right, there's 131 cars in a month, not great. All right, in Europe, the entirety of Europe, not great, and definitely that does not justify the cost of operations there with those big massive NIO houses. The one in Netherlands being 6 floors, just the whole NIO building. How often are those top floors going to be used on a daily basis? All right, is it kind of wasteful? Maybe. I think, in my personal opinion, yeah, that's kind of wasteful. All right, with the results, 14 cars in Netherlands per month, but hopefully it'll increase. But what's the big problem? People are still saying it's too expensive. I got subscribers telling me that in Europe, the average salary, it takes like 10 years to be able to afford a NIO vehicle. And NIO's always had this problem being too expensive. But here in China, what is the way to solve this problem? Of course, better financing, better incentives. And I think if they roll that out in Europe, right, better financing, super low interest rate or 0% interest rate, make the car a lot more affordable, and great incentives, that's going to help sales out. The BAS, pay 4 months, get 1 month free. Do that in Europe as well. Why not? Right? They're doing that here in China. Why not do it in Europe? That's going to really help sales out going forward, in my personal opinion. All right. With the onslaught of tariffs and all that kind of stuff that's really anti-China and stuff, I think it's more important to just build out swap stations in Denmark, because that's apparently where each swap station can earn 200k euro profit per year just on grid stabilization. Do that first, right? Please build 100 swap stations in Denmark, and then each one of them pull in 200k euro profit per year. Please do that. Yeah, that's gonna really help investors out, guys. And once you have 100 swap stations there, people are gonna buy the car instead of having one sale. With the onslaught of tariffs, just build swap stations, get that grid stabilization profit going in. But you can tell that part of the pessimism, I guess, from investors is also because of the fact that NIO is really not seeing much success outside of China. With that in mind, still remember, here in China, NIO is number one. Luxury EV. Brand recognition is still something that NIO really needs to work on, right? Both in the rural cities here in China and also in Europe, and also They just got to come up with better incentive policies, and that's really going to help sales fly. But that's enough of me ranting. Just remember, NIO's already extremely successful here in China. Just be happy with where they're at. They're selling lots of vehicles, guys. All right, even though they're, it does require great incentives that kind of, eats into margins, but they're doing well. All right, they're doing well. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.